Oh, we got time. Good. 8 o'clock.
And we are at a very special place today with a very special man, the man of the hour, Mr. Kirk Gibson. You started this brand new facility, the Kirk Gibson Center, to help people with Parkinson's, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We've been working on it for some time, and today we're announcing it to the public here on Northwestern Highway and Middle Belt Road. It's a convenient location where we can grab the most amount of people within 30 minutes of this facility so they can utilize it regularly.
Well, we took a walk around earlier and we mentioned the pickleball courts that are going in. I saw yoga, I saw a music area, just tons of interactive things for people to do. And you got a very large facility here, so you're going to be able to help a lot of people.
Well, we're going to be here for 11 years, and in 11 years we hope to develop some therapies that are going to help people and motivate others to, handle their situation in a way maybe they don't understand they can if they choose to. I ask everybody that's listening, have you ever been depressed? Do you feel like doing anything when you're depressed?
No.
So if you got a place to come, whether you have other colleagues, other teammates, other activities, and you get up and you get moving, would you feel better, do you think? And that's what we're all about. It seems like there's a lot of negativity in our lives, maybe more so than it used to be. So let's counteract it, and this would be one of the facilities around in the area where you can do that.
Wake up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew.
All right, running the intro. KG, I got a video, then go right to the desk.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Y'all got Kool-Aid hot.
Fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener!
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Video in 3, 2, 1.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
To the desk.
What up, though, people? Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with Wake Up Woodward. October in the D didn't get off to such a great start, but you know what? Just like we said yesterday, when all of the hopes were high, the job's not finished. The job's not finished. So you know what? Nobody better have any fear or any doubts. Everybody better continue to keep that same energy. But we do got to digest what happened last night.
Well, I will say this. speak for yourself when it comes to some of the doubts on the Red Wings, but we'll get to that in just a minute because, I'm always here to provide that kind of hard-hitting analysis. But not a good.
I was talking more Tigers.
Of
Those
course,
Red
of course.
Wings?
Not a great day in Detroit sports. It was amazing, just all that was going on and what was in just the parties that were going on in downtown Detroit. And damn, you wish that at least one of the teams could have got a win, particularly the Tigers. But you know what? As that video showed at the beginning, Tarek Skubel's just going to have to put on that Superman cape again, and we all know that he can do it. He's done it twice already in the playoffs.
And no Superman over here.
Whatever hero that you want him to be, he can be.
I got a surprise for his segment today anyway.
Whatever hero you want him to be, he can be it. He's done it twice already in the playoffs, and he did it throughout the entire regular season. So, Game 5, you always had that in your back pocket. So
any hero? He can be any hero.
He can be any hero.
Even Federico Polo.
He's a little better than me, than like Federico Polo, but yes, he can be any hero.
Oh man, hey, look, this is your boy Brendan, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad and the entire network. We're gonna digest everything that went down here, and I know you got some comments on those Red Wings. For a while there, looked like, hey, this thing is going well, and then the defense looked like, hey, all the question marks are back. But that dude Justin, Matthew Broder, love you guys, man. Thank you for everything that you do as well. That dude Justin for the squad. Intern Chase, what up though this morning?
Hey, what up, though? How's it going, everybody?
I'm just temperature checks right now, man. Where are the vibes at?
Oh, dude, I try to keep the same temperature all the time, man. Never too high, never too low. Let's try to maintain it, man.
Facts. Hey, man, in the sound booth, we got Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. What's the vibes like?
Hey, you see the shirt. Good vibes, man. I mean, it is what it was. It's a rough night for the city, don't get me wrong, but the Tigers, at least they showed fighting. I know we're going to break it down and get into it, but overall, it is what it is. It was going to be hard to shut out the Guardians for, essentially all of the series. So this is why you pitched Skubel in Game 2, so you can have him in Game 5 just in case. So we're gonna see what it's hitting for in Game 5.
Yep, on regular rust as well. Hey, Mr. JB Smooth, it is a Friday show, so Diddy Booth, man. WUW Sports is MVP. How you
saggy
doing?
Today.
It is a Friday. It's not a freak-off Friday. Although if the Tigers or the Red Wings would have won, that would have been nice. But I know I feel the pain of everyone else walking in here. We're kind of a little depressed and just sad about last night. But hey, you know what? We still got another game, and Skubel's got this. So let's keep it moving.
Job's not finished. JB Smooth, is the job finished?
Oh hell no, job's not done.
Job's not done. Let's rock. But you know what? We got to jump things off real quick with these Red Wings. I know we got Red Wings, Tigers, Lions today on the docket.
Oh, yeah.
6-3 loss to Pittsburgh. I hate losing to Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah.
I hate it.
No, and I have to get this out of the way. It's Game 1 of 82, and I understand, and I'm not panicking in the traditional sense. However, when you talk about
not in the traditional,
not in the traditional sense, because yes, 1 out of 82, it's just one game. However, that being said, when I make the prediction that the Tigers will go to the playoffs, it's not so much what I think, it's about actually having some expectations and some standards. But there were a lot of red flags going into this season, and you saw it last night. I mean, your first pairing is Mo Sider and Ben Sherratt defensively, and your second one is rookie Simon Edvinsson and Jeff Petrie. To me, having Petrie as your second-line defenseman, even though he wasn't terrible last night, he actually got hurt, is not a winning proposition. Having Ben Sherratt as a first-line defenseman, although he's done a lot of good things in Detroit, he's Ben Sherratt. He's going to have moments of inconsistency, and he struggled quite a bit last night. That's not a winning formula. Having Ville Husso as your starting goaltender is not a winning formula because I hate to break it to you, Red Wings fans. In Detroit, Ville Husso has never been good and he never will be good because in his first 2 seasons, even during the moments that you think he was good, he had a save percentage that started with the number 8. Not good. I'm going to keep saying not good because it just is what it is. And then last night, You saw him. There were 14 shots against him. He allowed 4 goals. He only scored 10. And for the record, it wasn't all his fault. I think it was the perfect combination, and by perfect, I mean the exact opposite, imperfect combination of bad defense and bad goaltending. I mean, the perfect example is that first goal that was allowed. And by the way, these first 4 goals were that Husso allowed before he got yanked were the first 25 minutes of the game. Too. All right. The first goal was Sherratt got lost defensively, and he ended up basically knocking the puck in. It wasn't the most egregious own goal, but it was still technically an own goal. The second goal, Ville Husso gave off a very, very soft rebound that, of course, got put into the back of the net. And then on the third one, Malkin just cut through the Red Wings' defensive zone like they weren't there and found a wide open and unaccounted for O'Connor, who just promptly put it into the back of the net. And then on the fourth goal, Pettersson scored from the blue line and Husso just whiffed. As you can see, it's a combination of very poor defense and very poor goaltending, and I don't know if they have enough. I understand Cam Talbot came in and played a little bit better. However, I do believe that the Red Wings have a potentially Stanley Cup level offense. And I asked Justin that question yesterday, and for the most part, we agree. But defensively and goaltending, that's been their downfall these last couple of years, and I really don't want it to be their downfall this year. I get it. One game is one game, but some of the things that you knew could potentially plagued them in the worst way last night.
Yeah, in a season right now where you're trying to protect those expectations of make the playoffs, because progressionally that's where they should be. And I'm so glad that you said it that way. It's not necessarily what you're saying that they're going to do, but where they should be in the process right now is making the playoffs right now. And sometimes we get in trouble with that with our words. People are like, oh, you called for them to win this many. It's like, no, guys, you don't have an expectation for this team to do something more, or do you just want to see them do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? And so with the first game, even though it's game 1, it looked very, very similar to the ways that they've been undone during the Yzerman time. It's like at this point in time, you want them to be a little bit better, and you're going to give them time to gel, give the new additions time to kind of get comfortable in that chemistry and such. But my question to you is this. Right now, is there something, if you're talking about trying to protect those expectations, are there things that you believe they need to do sooner rather than later, whether that's through acquiring or bringing somebody up? Because I know Justin said he believes this is the year that Steve Yzerman is actually looking towards that trade deadline and kept some flexibility to be able to potentially make a splash or bring somebody impactful in to be able to help down that stretch.
I have a feeling that if they're in it, that a defenseman, maybe a defenseman off of a team that maybe is falling short of expectations, is in order. And of course, I think at some point you'll see Albert Johansson on the team. I was hoping maybe he would be there on opening night, but he wasn't. But yeah, as of right now, it's just defensively, it's not good enough. And I had some concerns going into the season. I mean, you saw last night, Simon Edvinsson is somebody who I am very high on, who I think is going to be very good. But he's young, and he had a bad game. Gustafsson, I was a little lukewarm on the signing. I do think he can provide some value as an offensive defenseman and on the power play, and I think he's okay defensively, but he struggled last night. Sherratt struggled last night. You don't want this defense to turn into Mo Sider and then a whole lot of mid and then a whole lot of ass. That's not what you want it to be. And I'm not saying that it is going to be, but last night...
Right.
Chase?
I just don't think we need to be overreacting to one game.
Shocker.
We saw Pittsburgh. I mean, Sam, you're going to be you, and we love you for you. I think we just saw Pittsburgh lose 6-0 on Wednesday night to the New York Rangers.
Chase, a.k.a. even kill, man.
And then, they come back and they put up 6 goals of their own. We scored 3. I mean, who knows? We can bounce back this next game. It's an easy turnaround. Like, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Today, just worry about the present.
Well, hey, for both of you all and everybody else, too, what is your confidence level in this defense, though, moving forward?
I mean,
chat,
I think we got to see, at least 10 games before we can start to, really see how new additions and how the rookies have been playing so far. Give them a little bit of time. I mean, like we said, one game, Pittsburgh looked awful on Wednesday night against the Rangers, and then they came back and performed much better here in Detroit. So let's just give them some time.
That's fair. I generally go, at least when covering the Pistons, wait at least 20 games before you're making any long drawn out conclusions. But I know at least for Flannel, this is something that you're like, you wanted to see at least some semblances of things looking different. But they looked similar to last season.
Well, it's more to me the stuff that was easily predictable, like I said, and not like it was Petrie's fault. Petrie being your second-line defenseman, Sherratt being a first-line defenseman on the pairing with Sider, Husso being your starting goaltender on night one, even though he's never been good with the Red Wings ever. He had that great season with St. Louis, and ever since he got signed to Detroit, he's regressed. And part of being a good GM, which Steve Yzerman is having the foresight that these guys are going to continue what they've done in their past stops onto, in this case, the Red Wings, or maybe even become better. And Husso has not done that. And like I said, his save percentage with the Red Wings starts with an 8. That's not good any way you slice it. Am I saying that his defense has often done him any favors? Absolutely not. But just like last night was a perfect microcosm. It was part the defense, but it was also part Ville Husso. You can't be giving up soft rebounds, and you can't be giving up goals from the blue line. Those are just two cardinal sins when it comes to goaltending. Do I think that they're screwed? Do I think that they won't improve? Of course not. As I said, Simon Evanson did not have a good game last night. He's going to also be very good at the end of the year. I'm very confident in that. I do think Cam Talbot, he's going to provide an upgrade goaltending-wise when he gets some starts, which he always was going to. He just didn't start opening night. The offense, you saw Alex DeBrincat have a couple of goals. You saw a goal from Tarasenko. That's very, very promising. I hope that the Red Wings aren't undone by their weakness once again.
And Kiazi in the chat, and he has an interesting theory. Honestly, with Husso, I do believe Yzerman is trying to get Husso trading stock up. That's why he's trying to get him some games in, but I do believe that's the ultimate goal with Stevie. Hey, you know what? At least to a lot of the people that I know, like yourself, Justin, and others, Chase, the consensus is that some type of a move might be made this year. Not that it's just something centered around Husso, but something to at least better this defense.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just waiting for Axel Sandin-Pellikka to get to Detroit. Honestly, I think that's the biggest addition we could really make is just getting the guy we drafted in here and playing with Sider and Edmondson. I'm not really. I don't have anybody right now off the top of my head who I could think of as like somebody trying to bring in and target. Probably listen to Justin or DMAC on that. But I know we got some really good guys in our pipeline. So.
Hey, I can't wait to see these guys starting to contribute because for at least Red Wings, it seems like we hear that. Hey, we got some guys in the pipeline. Hopefully, these guys can be a part of the solution like we saw with the Tigers as well.
Yeah, and to be fair, because I'm obviously not on the people accuse me of giving soft criticism and then being like, you want Steve Yzerman fired. Most certainly not. You saw how it worked out with Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond. They both got paid. You saw last season how much of a shot in the arm that Simon Evanson gave that defense. I do think a lot of the young guys are going to come up and they're going to improve the team. We might see Casper at some point. We might see Johansson, which I believe that we will. It's just, in the interim, it frustrated me to where it's like, I had a feeling that the defense was going to be a little shaky, and then last night kind of confirmed a lot of my fears. That's why I hated last night so much. It will get better, but last night was it was everything that I feared and more.
You know what? I like that, man. I like that. It will get better. I think that's the proper way to kind of wrap there and get into this next segment. Why? Because we got to talk about these Detroit Tigers, man.
We do. We do.
Listen, want to know where the best pregame Lions party is? Every single home game, it's at Detroit's very own second best bar. Located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at second best bar. Come get some.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Let's drive right down Woodward Avenue. I'm still saying it, man, the legendary Woodward Avenue. We got all 4 teams active right now in the month of October. It didn't feel too good yesterday. The Red Wings home opening loss, and the Detroit Tigers had a chance to clinch at home, and they just let it slip away. They had a great opportunity. They put up some fight. They continue to show that they are going to be a resilient squad. And you know what? This thing is set up perfectly for them to do something very, very special like they have all, like, really the second half of the season and into the playoffs.
Yes.
Got to talk about now.
Got to talk about last night, and I think the perfect place to kick it off. Jackson Job's in the chat. Welcome, Jackson. Again, you're getting your playoff lumps in early, but I know you're going to be good for us moving forward. But I didn't realize he was such a hater of yours truly. I must be getting noticed.
Jackson Job was in the watch party last night too.
Actually, what are you doing in the watch party, Jackson Job? Hey, if you're in the bullpen, I suppose you can. Yep. But Sam, please just don't talk shit about the Guardians today. You dunked on Jose Ramirez, and look what happened. Every pitchers you've shit on looked like Scooble out there. Okay, first off, when did I dunk on Jose Ramirez? I simply said that if you can handle him, you'll win. If you don't, you lose. What did Jose Ramirez do last night? He hit a home run.
We didn't handle him.
I'm not saying it was the only reason you lost. That was all I said. And the only pitcher that I probably shit on and got burned for was Matthew Boyd. And I own that. But the Tigers won that game anyway. But I think when it comes to last night's game, I think we just quite simply have to tip our caps to the Guardians and move on.
Yes.
There's nobody that you can really blame. There's nobody that needs to take a pound of flesh. At this point in the series, at this point in the playoffs, everybody on the roster pretty much has contributed in a positive way. And last night, you just saw a team with their backs against the wall that won the division, that had to step up, and they did. I mean, think about this. Stephen Vogt got absolutely de-pantsed in Game 3 by A.J. Hinch. But Stephen Vogt is a prideful man and a good manager. You saw him last night not panic early on, and instead he deployed his weapon, David Fry, in the 7th, and look how it worked out. That was a great move by Stephen Vogt. He, in a lot of ways, redeemed himself for his terrible performance and his panicking in Game 3. Look at Jose Ramirez. He had a bad series up to that point. He had struggled, but Jose Ramirez is one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball, and he has historically killed the Tigers. He got a hold of one. Mm-hmm. He did. And sometimes that just happens. Let's look at Emmanuel Clase. He had probably the worst outing of his career in one of his biggest moments against the Tigers in Game 2. But what did he do in this game, in Game 4? He gave up a run in the 9th, but he knew he had that margin of error. You're not going to get to Emmanuel Clase every time. When you're as good as he is, eventually he's going to come through, and he did. You even look at Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan's an all-star. He's hitting .500 in this series. He got 3 hits, scored 2 runs. And then David Fry, the pinch hitter who got that home run, he's also an all-star. You saw the back end of Cleveland's bullpen be pretty much lights out when Cleveland got the lead. My point is that Big-time players make big-time plays in big games. That goes for the Tigers, but that also goes for Cleveland. They weren't going to go down easy. They had all of the weight in the world on their shoulders, and they responded, and now it's time for Game 5, and now it's time for the Tigers to respond. No pound of flesh necessary. It was a great playoff baseball game, and the Guardians just came out on top.
And as I heard you mentioning everything that went right for the Guardians, all their all-stars came through. They won the division. You know, Ramirez got the big hit.
Yeah.
Clase just absolutely put the Tigers away. And so, if I didn't know the final score, they got popped then.
Well,
or no, because it is important. You're right. They played their best game, and I can pinpoint more so to some of the mistakes that I believe the Tigers made that cost them just as much as I believe Ramirez made an impact on that game. There were things that the Tigers could have done to put themselves in position to win that game, and I get it. When you're playing a squad like the Guardians, when you're playing a team that is as kind of tested and has those stars on that other side, within the game, you can't really account for this Game 4. Pressure, honestly, might have been a little bit more on the Tigers last night, and that can lead to some uncharacteristic or some youthful mistakes. That's what I kind of saw the Detroit Tigers last night. But this was a situation where the Guardians had to play their absolute best, and they won 5-4 on a big play. On a big play. And that's why I'm not too shaken. Just like KG after the first game, and we were like, you know, it just felt like a hangover game. I believe Game 5, and I know we're going to talk about it, they've set themselves up very well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, of course. And this is why, you know, I questioned it, you know, and a lot of other people did. But this is why you did that, just in case. So you have your ace in the hole. You got your best players going when the moment matters the most. But I mean, in terms of last night, we just got outplayed. It just simply is what it is. Did the Tigers necessarily play bad? No. But your bullpen, you know, that's been one of the best in the playoffs. Besides one person, everybody had an earned run. So that's part of the reason why, you know, you didn't win this one. Team risk as well, runners in scoring position. The Tigers yet again struggle in that category. 1 for 11 on the night. You can't win that way. And then we just saw misplays on the field. There were opportunities that they left out there. I mean, the Winfield Perez missed catch, the Spencer Torkelson missed running the bases, you know, the Bo Brisky home run. There were opportunities for the Tigers out there that they just didn't completely seize. And I mean, the Cleveland Guardians are in the playoffs too. So that's just, it is what it is with that one. I'm not necessarily mad at how everyone performed, because if you look at the pitching performances, Reese Olson had a good game. Will Vest technically had a good game. Joe didn't, you know, they didn't get banged up. You know, it just so happened that Cleveland made the plays when they needed to make them, and a home run by J-Ram and a squeeze play is what ultimately was your downfall in this one.
And I'm so glad that you said it that way and articulated some of the things that the Tigers went through, and how you're saying, you know what, look, the Guardians, they just played a little bit better, because I do believe the Tigers have to learn how to play in these moments.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to get at with my comments. It's like, you know what, for everything that the Guardians did right, our young Tigers, they made some youthful mistakes, but I'm not shaken because it was a 5-4 game and they still had an opportunity to put them away. But dagger shots is not something that you just do. Sometimes it's something you have to learn. Sometimes it's something that has to set itself up right. And that's why I'm very optimistic about Game 5, because the battery there, it's something a little bit different than last night. Last night, they needed a kill shot because you don't got, you know, Psycho Scoob on the mound. And that's where I'm like, okay, take your lumps right now. I believe that last night was a learning lesson.
Oh, sure, and I'm not trying to say that the Tigers couldn't have done some things better. I mean, Parker Meadows led off the game with a double, and Carpenter, Vierling, nor Green, neither of them could get him in. You saw runners in scoring position throughout the game. The Tigers they just weren't good last night.
No. Yeah.
You saw Matt Vierling go 0 for 5. You saw some misplays in the field. You saw a base running mistake by Spencer Torkelson. You could argue that Riley Green should have tagged up on that Ibanez fly ball to the warning track. There's a lot of things that you can talk about, but this is a young team. But that's the thing. I'm not mad.
Yeah,
I'm not mad.
They're a young team. They left plays out there. I mean, it is what it is.
It happens. And Cleveland, they're not just going to lay over and die. They're going to take advantage of those mistakes. You could argue, and this isn't, I'm not bashing Hinch or anything, that Bo Brisky maybe shouldn't have been out there because he had pitched the day before, pitched a couple of innings, and he made a bad pitch, and Cleveland's David Fry took advantage. Sometimes it just happens. I think our overlying point with all of this is that every single one of us, and we're going to get to it, I promise, can see a pathway, an easy pathway to the Tigers winning Game 5 and putting everything that happened in Game 4 behind them. Because, yes, the Tigers made some mistakes, but so many guys on the Tigers, pretty much everybody who's in the lineup or in the pitching staff has contributed positively. Yeah. Even last night, you saw Riley Green, who, as you said, he maybe should have tagged up on that fly ball to the warning track. But you can also argue he didn't want to run into the second out. He had probably his best game of the postseason, and we know we're going to need more of that moving forward. So that's why, to me, this isn't about a pound of flesh. This is about tip your cap to the Guardians, and good luck in Game 5. You got Scooble coming at you.
Right.
What did you say before? Good luck.
Good luck, yes.
Woo! Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? Like, I know we got to get to the next break, but do you realize we got 2 more segments to go, and I'm trying to keep the Scooble energy contained?
Dude, it's hard to.
Because I know it. Yes, you want to be able to end that last night. But for the script writers, for what I believe AJ Hinch is, yeah, you want to end it last night. But like you said, I think there's a little bit of, okay, all right. Let's go on to Game 5.
Yeah, on to Game 5. Sometimes Cleveland's a good team too. They got a lot of all-stars. They got a lot of good players, and like I said,
none of them are Scoops.
Stephen,
we'll wait.
Absolutely not. As I said, to kind of put a bow on this, Stephen Vogt had some redeeming to do, and he redeemed himself. Jose Ramirez, he needed to come up big, and he did. Emmanuel Clase had some redemption he needed to get, and he did. You're not going to keep good players down for that long, and that's why all these series are just, they're grinds, man. They're going to be close. It's playoff baseball, and sometimes you're going to take your lumps. It's just about withstanding those lumps and giving out more than you take. Speaking of which is not a transition at all, Dispo. Dispo, how would you like $10 of free products from Dispo Dispensary? Screenshot this image with a QR code and bring it into any Dispo location, and you'll get a free $10 to spend in store with a minimum purchase of $25. Visit Dispo Dispensary today or disposhops.com. Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Have you heard of Long Drink, the gin-based cocktail? Well, we've got one here made right in Michigan so you can support locally. Made with all natural ingredients for an even better flavor. It's Taller, your Dutch long drink from New Holland Brewing Company that is shoulders above the rest. Made from New Holland small batch gin, 100% real grapefruit puree for a fresh and delicious flavor for you. Take this Taller, your long drink. I'm telling you right now, support locally, and I'm sure they had a couple of these on the watch party the other night, so they got after it. But if you're not into drinking long drinks, you can always work out with Planet Fitness.
Hey, Planet Fitness, of course. It is fitness that fits. your budget. They've got 50+ locations all over Metro Detroit. You can go in, get your workout in, and feel great about yourself. And no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
And what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. All right, we digested those 2 losses. Well, almost. There's still something else we got to talk about in this segment that happened in the game. And we got to understand a little bit of this, dive into what the impact could be. But first, chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this thing. Go ahead and smash that like button. I want to read a few comments from the chat. ARF, what a name. Tigers had them down. That's what hurts. LOL. Yeah. Chase Ambly, Stephen Vaught. He can't solve the Da Vinci Code. Tigers in 5. I like that.
The Da Vinci Code.
Denver, Blair, Cleveland was the best. They had the 1 seed. Allen W., our pitching wasn't perfect and we lost. We have a 100-win pitching staff and a 70-win lineup. When our pitching can't carry us and has one bad game, this happens.
I don't know about a 70-win lineup.
Yeah.
I've always been at the front of the train that there's a lot more there than you think. And we're seeing it in the playoffs, and you saw it throughout the last couple of months. Look what happens when something as simple as Parker Meadows coming back. What that does.
Yep. ARF scraping a win on some BS bunt play is not momentum.
Yep.
And
Who
Denver
says
players,
bunts don't work?
They had the lead before the
shout out to bros.
But it was the difference in the game.
Right.
And you know what? I see it. Guys, we got one more segment, but I will read these comments. Mitten made. Save us, Scooble. Denver Blair. Scooble is going to ruin their momentum. We will talk about it in IT Hips. Here we go.
Yeah.
If Carpenter's out for the playoffs, that sounds disgusting. Now I'm sad.
Yeah.
If he's out for the playoffs, the Tigers are done because hitting was already their biggest weakness. We got to talk about that.
Yes, we do. So, as everybody saw last night, to pour some salt into the wound, that was just a not fun day for us Detroit sports fans. Kerry Carpenter, and I'll give him credit, he led off the 6th with a single and scored on the Wenceel Perez go-ahead single. But as he was rounding third, you saw him kind of pull up lame, and it's reported that he may have tweaked his hamstring. Kerry Carpenter, unfortunately, and I don't want to be alarmist, I don't want to be worst case scenario, it's just, unfortunately, when it comes to Kerry Carpenter, it's become part of his story. When he's in the lineup, he absolutely rakes. You've seen in the playoffs kind of a microcosm of the regular season. He had one of the biggest hits in the history of the Detroit Tigers with that 3-run home run in Game 2, and then in the regular season, he had damn near 1,000 OPS against right-handed pitching. But he also missed about half the season in the regular season, and he went down with a hamstring injury in this game. I think when it comes to Kerry Carpenter and his potential impact, I think it could potentially change damn near everything. And again, not trying to be alarmist, but when you have a weapon like Carpenter, one of the greatest weapons you can have as a manager, as a team, is somebody that just murders right-handed pitching, because that's what you're going to face the majority of the time. You face right-handed, the Tigers had damn near 4,200 at-bats versus right-handed pitching and less than 1,300 against left-handed pitching in the regular season. It's huge. And Kerry Carpenter, he literally is Kerry Bonds against right-handed pitching. You saw it in the regular season, you saw it in the playoffs with that one hit. And also, it gives one less chess piece for A.J. Hinch to potentially play with. I'm looking at A.J. Hinch as, if there's a right-handed pitcher, you just plug Kerry Carpenter in and you hope that he rakes. If there's a left-handed pitcher, you save Kerry Carpenter for a potential bullpen matchup. That's what happened in Game 2, by the way. They started the game with Matthew Boyd. Kerry Carpenter didn't start, but then when they needed him to get a hit against Emmanuel Clase, a right-handed pitcher, Kerry Carpenter did that. I'm not saying that they can't win Game 5 of this series without him, But I don't think they can win the ALCS without him because he's just that freaking good. He's been a godsend this season.
You can't understate it. You can't undersell it. When we go all carry bonds of it,
yes,
we can't, when we're on this side of it, act like, oh, no, it's just nothing. That is one of the things that probably makes me feel I'm probably more sad about that than the actual loss. Last night, I could digest logically. You could process it.
Yeah.
We are taking the division winners to the limit.
Yeah.
And we got an opportunity with our ace on the mound to be able to beat them. But Kerry Carpenter, that is longevity as it relates to what we can do in these playoffs. And we once believed very soundly that, we have a good opportunity to get to the World Series. But without Kerry Carpenter, that's a tough one. And I want to be able to get our booth in on this. What up, JB Smooth?
Oh, man, I just wanted to comment. Just seeing that last night, seeing him limp off after he, ran in that run, but still at the same time, you don't know what the injuries are, how intense it is, if he'll be back for the next series. All I know is, we just need him to rest up as of right now because we will need him moving forward. But even again, if it's not possible for him, it's still that next man up mentality. Who is going to step up on this team to help push this team past even forward? Because I believe, the Yankees won yesterday as well, too, so that could be who you're facing right now. So you've got to be the next man up. Who is going to step up on this team to help push them further?
Yeah, Carpenter is so vital to this team. And, before the season started, we identified two people that we said that, if they can stay healthy, this Tiger team will look completely different. And that was Riley Green and it was Kerry Carpenter. Now, to Riley Green's credit, he did stay healthy for a majority of the year. I know he did get injured, at the halfway point. But we saw Riley Green. And then what did that result in? Him being an all-star. And with Kerry Carpenter, you saw the early results, but then he has this lumbar fracture, and you kind of don't know, is he going to be able to continue? Is this, the end of his year? Maybe will this affect his career long term? And by the grace of God, he somehow got back in this lineup and continued to rake for this team because I know the Tigers play this money ball, keep the line moving style, but the one thing that we all can point out that they have been missing is that power. And Kerry Carpenter has supplied that power, and he is absolutely vital to what the Tigers want to do. So this is a huge loss, man. And if the Tigers do advance, you do worry about, where the offense, sits because your young guys, they're kind of starting to show themselves. Your role players, Matt Vierling, he was 0 for 5 last night. Cole Keith struck out a lot. Trey Sweeney had a lot of opportunities to put the Tigers up, and he couldn't do it. So Kerry Carpenter is very vital, like Sam said, to right-handed pitching in particular, and that is a key piece that you really want the Tigers to have during this run.
Yeah. It's completely vital. And trust me, JB, going back to a little bit to what you said, I understand about next man up mentality. You've seen it this playoffs with Zach McKinstry.
Yeah.
Man, he would have been such a playoff hero if the Tigers would have been able to get the job done last night. You've seen it with Justin Henry Malloy, who is often the platoon partner with Kerry Carpenter. And of course, we've seen it with Jake Rogers. However, Kerry Carpenter this season was 8th in Major League Baseball amongst players with at least 250 plate appearances in OPS. 8th in all of Major League Baseball, not the American League, not just during that stretch at the end of the season, in all of baseball throughout the whole year. And I get it. He does all of his damage against right-handed pitching. But as I said before, you don't know who you're going to even see in Game 5. If we're going by trends, it might be Matthew Boyd or it might not be. But even if it is, they're going to bring in a right-handed relief pitcher at some point. And Kerry Carpenter is going to be there waiting for that right-handed relief pitcher if he is healthy. Again, see Kerry Carpenter, Emmanuel Clase in Game 2. And if he's not there, that's just on a per-game basis, on a per-play basis, he was the best hitter on the team. And this is a lineup that, as everybody points out and as we point out, still, even despite Parker Meadows coming up and being a revelation and Spencer Torkelson coming back and being better, still has some holes.
Yep.
And like I said, Trey Sweeney's struggled. Trey Sweeney has struggled lately. Matt Vierling has struggled a bit. Colt Keith has struggled. Riley Green hasn't been quite what he was in the regular season. So you need Kerry Carpenter. And if he's not there, I don't think they can get past the ALCS. I think they can win Game 5, but it's going to be a lot tougher.
Because there's this thing where next man up is a philosophy, as well as the fact that next man up can be your reality.
Yeah.
From an inventory standpoint, when we look at the Lions, next man up is because they're literally stocked with players that can come and have a similar impact on our defensive line. You're not replacing Aiden Hutchinson, and on the offensive line, you're not replacing Penei Sewell, but we know that those lines, those units, the way that they're built and the way that they have, we talked about it, depth, they can do that. When you talk about the Tigers, there is no next man up as it relates to inventory with Kerry Carpenter. Where the Tigers are going to have this kind of next man up philosophy is in those big moments that we saw last night that Sweeney, McKinstry, and some of these guys had. They have to make sure that they come through on one of these moments. That's where the next man up for the Tigers is going to play very, very vital in this order, because you can't replace Kerry Carpenter, but you also can't say, even though from a logic standpoint, it's going to be tough for them to get to the World Series in a way, without Carps, because we know how vital he is. But now we need these guys to come through in some big moments. They have to grow up fast.
And that's the thing, is that I don't think anybody can necessarily be mad at any of those young Tigers if they're not Kerry Carpenter, because it's their first postseason experience. Right. Everybody other than Matt Vierling. If we're talking about potentially relying on, and I'll just give an example. Justin Henry Malloy has been phenomenal in this postseason, and by golly, he did it again. He's hotter than fish grease. But part of what makes Justin Henry Malloy, part of what's made him so great during this postseason is he gets the at-bats versus left-handed pitchers. He's much better hitting lefties, and Kerry Carpenter is much better hitting righties. Now you're talking about potentially, and I'm not saying this is how A.J. Hinch is going to play it, having to potentially hit Malloy against more right-handed pitching, or maybe platoon Jace Young instead. And I got a lot of love for Jace Young. You know that I do. He is not Kerry Carpenter.
Not at all.
The man has never hit a home run in his Major League Baseball career, and we know that's what Kerry Bonds does best.
Yeah, and not to discredit what JB said, but I think as opposed to next man up, it's more of the people that are already there need to step up.
Right.
So the two players in particular that we're looking at are Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson. Riley Green, because he is your all-star. He's supposed to be the best hitter on the team. He leads in all statistical, regular season categories as far as hitting goes. So you need to rely on him. And Torque is the only other person on this team that has equal power to Kerry Carpenter. So you really, really need him to step up if Carps is going to miss time, because with Torque, man, like, this is what you wanted to see from Torque. He was supposed to be your long bomber. He was supposed to be that star. Kerry Carpenter took that role.
Doubles.
Exactly. Kerry Carpenter took that role, but now it's going to be on Torkelson to make something happen at the plate, and that's something that we haven't necessarily seen at this point.
Well, the script is written, though.
Yeah. No, and just to be, because it sounds like I'm being a little doomsday about potentially missing Kerry Carpenter, I'll give a little bit of positive levity. When you talk about Riley Green, the last couple of games, in Game 3, he had the big RBI single to start the scoring, and last night in Game 4, he was 2 for 3 with the walk. He seems to be putting together better at-bats and looks more comfortable at the plate and is playing with a little less pressure. You saw it with Spencer Torkelson. He had a hit, one of the big blows in Game 3, and got a hit in last night's game, although the base pass wasn't the best. But still, they're both looking a little bit better, looking like they're figuring it out to some degree. And in the case of Riley Green, I still am fully confident that in Game 5, he's going to have a breakout game. He is going to be what carries you home, because you might only need 1 or 2 runs, and I think Riley Green is going to come through. Spencer Torkelson, we'll see, but at least you've seen sample sizes of them having good approaches at the plate and getting some hits and some big hits as well.
Because you know what? You can't replace. You have no one on the roster that's going to replace Kerry Carpenter. And I agree, you need people to step up. But as it relates to Riley Green in particular, we just need him to be Riley Green.
Yeah.
And that, for this particular Tigers lineup, if he gets hot, I do believe that might be enough with some situational timely hitting from the rest of the lineup to still help this Tigers team, not just in Game 5, but beyond.
Oh, yeah, and don't get me wrong.
Green and Torque are the key.
I would, if Riley Green can somehow take it to an even greater level than he did in the regular season, in, say, like a Game 5 in an ALCS scenario, You can throw everything I said about without Kerry Carpenter, they definitely won't win the ALCS out the window. If Spencer Torkelson can have his defining career moment in Game 5 and then further on in the ALCS, you can throw everything I said about they can't win without Kerry Carpenter out the window. It's just, that is a lot to ask of, like, especially a Spencer Torkelson who has struggled all season long, and even a Riley Green who we need to see more out of, but it is his first postseason. But hey, if he can take it to another level, you're talking about maybe that leap into superstardom, and I'd love to see it. Am I confident that he can? Yes. Am I going to be pounding the table, you're a failure if he doesn't? Not necessarily, because it's a lot to ask of these young players, but we'll see what they're made of.
We're going to, man, and I believe that they're going to be, as it relates to the long-term success, they're going to be so much better for what they're going through right now.
Regardless of what happens, they're getting that postseason experience, and you know what? I feel very confident in them winning Game 5. More on that in just a minute, but first, do you remember that the Detroit Lions play here?
Really?
Hey,
they do.
On game day coverage this Sunday, hey Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward in Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions. With insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. Woodward in Maine, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Tala Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And then, of course, you gotta watch the pregame show. Look at these men right here making those faces. You know that they know what they're talking about. I mean, look at them. Yes, it's the New Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every game day, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. Join us for every Sunday home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Tala Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. With 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? And shout out to Ermanni. He says, successful season. We just want more of it. And you know what?
Yep.
There is a person who might be able to help us do that. His name is Terry Scuba. I don't know if you've heard of him. Cy Young winner. I'm calling it already. But first, people, go ahead and smash and satisfy that like button. Just treat it right and treat it nice, man. You already know what it is. Come on.
Hey, man. Come on now. I know the vibe's a little low. But we got to pick that up, man. Come on. Get a little hot and steamy, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. Your Tigers are still in it, baby. Don't you worry. They are going to bring it home in Game 5.
Let's go. Yeah, you know what? I love the back wall that we have for this segment. I've been saving the energy for this segment because we got one Mr. Scooble on the mound, and it's like, you know what? Chauncey Billups and 04 Pistons used to say this because all of their series used to get pushed to the limit, it seemed like. And they said, you know what? If it ain't rough, it ain't right. And now we see our Detroit Tigers right now. We know everything that they face. But there's one thing in baseball. There's one thing in baseball that can cancel everything out, and it's having an ace pitcher like Tarek Skubal. This is why you pay him the money, especially. Look at that.
Only one man can save us.
Let's go.
Oh, my God.
And yes, that is Detroit skyline at the bottom. He is here to save us. He is here to save us.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're... I know as...
Pow, bang.
I did not know that. I did not expect that.
I was going to send it to you guys, and I was like, you know what? No. Surprise. I was like, I know KG's going to see it, but let's rock.
That's a nice surprise. And if I would have known about this, I would have from the beginning referred to Skubal as putting on his Batman cape or his Batman mask. So, but I get it as sports fans in general, as Tigers fans, there's going to be a lot of nerves going into Game 5 just because the stakes are so high. But I don't think there's any Tiger fan in this room, in the chat, just in the city of Detroit, throughout the world, that doesn't have full confidence that Tarek Skubal will take us home. At least do his job. Right. Because as we've seen, he handled the Astros lineup with ease. He handled the Guardians lineup with ease. He handled the entire Major League Baseball with relative ease the whole season, by way to a pitching triple crown, and it's going to be a Cy Young. He's our horse, he's our ace, and he seems to have taken it up to even another level in the postseason. And I expect it to continue. I'm not saying that he's going to go 9 innings of shutout ball, but I wouldn't be shocked if he goes 6 or 7 of shutout, if he goes 6 or 7 and allows 1 run or maybe even 2. But I believe that it will be enough to get the job done if he does any of what I just mentioned, because we don't know who Cleveland's starting pitcher is going to be. However, I don't believe that any of them are a challenge that the Tigers can't handle. I'm not saying that in ways they're not formidable. Tanner Bybee has done a good job against the Tigers for the most part. Matthew Boyd, I'm never talking smack about him ever again. Certainly not this time. He handled the Tigers with relative ease, and the bullpen. The bullpen is always formidable. But I want to see the Tigers approach this game like they approached Game 3, where they just got right on the board in the first inning, where they get somebody on, they get somebody in, put all of the pressure back on Cleveland, having to go up against Tarek Skubal while down. That's tough. Yeah. While down, while at home, with all of the organizational pressure, with all of the season pressure, just get whoever the Guardians starter is. I want to see the Tigers lineup get at least a couple of runs against them. I'm not saying you got to get 5 in the first inning, but look what happened in Game 3. You got 1 in the first, you got 1 in the third, and it pretty much was a wrap from there.
And they've shown
that's all they need.
They've shown that they can get to the Guardians pitching. It's just what do you do when you get these runners on base? Yeah. For all your speed and all your aggression, we talked about it. Is it something that can get them in some trouble? Last night did, and they also left a lot of play. Oh my gosh! Yeah. Like those are the things that you have to capitalize on in a game where we know Kerry Carpenter would have probably capitalized in some of those moments. He might have, but right now with Skubal, this is the luxury of Skubal. You just got to get him a couple. Last night would have probably been a win with Skubal on the mound. Yes. And that's what you have to get that blueprint, go out there, be fearless. And what I like about Skubal on the mound and what I've seen, just him growing as a pitcher. The thing I've liked about it this year is not that he grew as a pitcher necessarily, but that he grew into realizing he's that guy. And in the playoffs, seeing him, and we saw the clip, walking off the mound in Cleveland, and I know everybody saw the STFU clip where he was walking off the mound and his mom was like, bro, what? Like Tarek Daniel. But it was the other stuff too. Like when he was like, come on, like I want the noise. Continue to bring your booze, rain it down. And then the one where he was just looking down, and then he just looks up and just gives like this demon time grin, and it's just like, yeah, I want to see that in a Game 5 right now. If this is what you're telling me, you're handing me, let's rock then. Yes. Let's rock and just go insane, Scoops.
And as I've said before, it's never a foregone conclusion that your superstar regular season pitcher is going to show out in the playoffs. I've given examples of Greg Maddux, Clayton Kershaw, Justin Verlander in the World Series. Garrett Cole has had some struggles, but it doesn't appear that that's the case with Tarek Skubal. It appears that he's more of like, just to cross sports a little bit, a guy like Michael Jordan, a guy like LeBron James, who will give you an MVP-style regular season, but even take it up another notch in the playoffs. I'm not saying that he's going to go 9 innings of shutout ball in Game 5, but I'm confident that he can. I'm confident that at the very worst, he can give you 7 innings of 2 runs, maybe 7 innings of shutout ball, and then give way to the bullpen. Yeah. Even if the Tigers only give you 2 or 3 runs, that will be enough. KG, do the Tigers win the series in Game 5?
Absolutely.
There we go.
I mean,
no hesitation.
Tarek Skubal is the best pitcher in the MLB, period. I don't want to hear about no Paul Skeens. I don't want to hear about nobody else. And don't get me wrong, Paul Skeens an amazing talent, but just the way Tarek Skubal pitches some of these games, you know, the fire that he brings and just the confidence. He's a Triple Crown leader for a reason, man. And this is why you have him in this spot, man. With all the chips on the table, you know Tarek Skubal is going to put his best foot out there and hopefully give you shutout baseball. That's what he's been accustomed to doing. That's what we've seen in the regular season and the playoffs. So I have no reason to believe that he won't go out there and pitch a gem. This game is going to solely be on the offense. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, we argued in Game 1, why didn't you start Skubal? Oh, if Skubal was in there, they wouldn't have gave up 7 runs, which may be true. But if you're not giving him any run support, then what is it all for? He can pitch his fucking life out. If you're not going to give him the proper run support, then it's all for naught. So I am urging this Tigers offense, the youngsters and the role players, y'all got to take it up a notch because this is what playoff baseball is. Yep. You got to step up in moments like this. If the offense comes through, Skubal going to do his job, and the Tigers going to take home or going to go to the ALCS.
So I think I found your burner in the chat. Alan W. Skubal's going to pitch 9 innings, and we're going to lose 1-0 in the 10th.
That ain't my burner. The Tigers win in my scenario.
But that's where here's I want to respond to that because I look at Game 4 personally as I'm not mad at any of the players. I know they made some mistakes. I know they didn't come through with runners on base like you would like, especially in scoring position. But I look at that as I'm not blaming anybody. No. The Guardians just played a better game.
Yeah.
However,
but 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, that's been a problem.
I was
going
to get to that. In Game 5, if that scenario happens where they lose 1-0 in the 10th, and I'm not saying that it will, then you can blame. Like, there's no excuse for the Tigers to not put up at least a couple of runs against whoever Cleveland starter is. None whatsoever. If you struggle against their bullpen, if you go into the 6th or 7th inning down and you lose, I could live with that because Cleveland's bullpen has been dominant throughout the whole season, and you've even seen some of their guys be dominant in this playoffs. Emmanuel Clase notwithstanding. Shout out Kerry Carpenter. But you've got to get on the starter if you're the Tigers. Like, if you're... Let's just say it's a Matthew Boyd. Is Matthew Boyd really going to pitch 4 2/3 of shutout ball again?
You don't think
There's
so?
No way. And if Matthew Boyd is the starter, and I get it, it's going to change as they go to their bullpen, but that could even cancel out a potential Kerry Carpenter loss. A Kerry Carpenter loss isn't going to hurt you as long as Matthew Boyd is in the game. Then you can start Justin Henry Malloy and let him go to work, which he certainly has.
And a second game, if it's Matthew Boyd, a second game at seeing his stuff, maybe they figure it out this time.
And I'm not even saying that Matthew Boyd's for sure going to be the starter. I'm just saying that if I'm going by their rotations, that would be the logical conclusion. But I can't wait to see who they start. And before we get to the Lions, Chase, do the Tigers win Game 5?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm always going to pick my team. I told you yesterday.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. But there's definitely a pathway. You're not just saying it just to say it.
Right, yeah. I mean, they definitely can win. We have the best pitcher in all of baseball on the mound right now. So, I mean, what better chances do you think you can have?
Yeah. You wouldn't want anybody else.
Yeah. Nobody else. Just real quick on Skubal and the Tigers, to me, when I'm looking at this, I feel like the Tigers are going into Game 5 more familiar with the pitching that they're going to face than the Guardians are going up against Skubal. You don't solve Scoobs, but the Tigers have shown they can get some hits against the Guardians.
Yes, and you are going to have a Titanic-level starting pitching advantage. Tarek Skubal against anybody that Cleveland has to throw at you. And again, this is not disrespecting Cleveland's starting pitching. It's just we know that their strength has been their bullpen. All of their starters, no matter who they're going to throw at you, are hittable. JB, do the Tigers win Game 5 and by virtue win the ALDS?
Absolutely. There is no question about that. Skubal knows the assignment. He knows what he needs to go out there and do. And as KG had already said, this relies on your offense, your bats, your hits. Can you come up big in spots like this? Like I said, the next man up mentality if Kerry Carpenter's not going to be there. And at the end of the day, it's all about who wants it more. So go out there and prove that you want it more.
I think Psycho Scoobs wants it more, man.
Yes, sir. Big players make big plays. We say it all the time in football.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what? Walk in any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy $20 haircut special. Scalp massage. Hot lather neck shave.
The hot leather shave?
Nah.
The hot leather shave?
I don't know if they do that.
He got some leather pants in the closet, I promise you.
And a hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Take advantage of our $20 special. Our haircut special. All you gotta do is scan the QR code somewhere. It looks a little bigger today over there. Right there. There it goes on the screen. Get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it is wicked awesome.
That leather make noise when you walk.
Your haircut. You can place a bet with Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan the QR code on screen. Use code Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, and all you got to do is place a minimum $20 bet. If it doesn't hit, they'll put that right back into your account. I'm not playing with you right now. I made some money last night betting on the WNBA, surprisingly. Crazy enough. But scan the QR code on screen. Use code Woodward1000. Hey, football season, make some money off the Lions on Sunday as well.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use code Woodward. Got to use that code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And we are back. Oh, man, like it never left. We got to talk about the Detroit Lions, man.
Hey.
Dante151, 1999 Super Chat. He says, guys, don't forget that the regular season rule that places a runner on second base during the start of extra innings will not be part of the postseason, meaning the 10th inning onward will start the empty base path. So, RELAX, relax.
Hey, I mean, I'm pretty relaxed that the Tigers will be able to win.
Yeah.
I am, and I want to read this from Alan W. before we move on to the Lions. And we will move on to the Lions because I think this is a very good comment. If our lineup can score off Class A in his last two outings, then their lineup can 100% score on Scooble. I'm just saying this to tell the fans not to blame him or overreact if he gives up a couple runs.
Facts.
I agree with that 100%.
I agree with that.
He has done his job. He's given you 2 shutouts. I'm not saying if Scooble in a nightmare scenario gets shelled, you can't blame him, but you can kind of be like, what the F was that? But if he gives you 6 or 7 and only allows 2, he did his job. He can't get a shutout every time.
Yeah.
But maybe he can, though, because he is Tarek Scooble. But I get Alan W.'s point, and I agree with you.
Yeah, and this is why Scooble is so good, and that's why he's the best, because he doesn't get shelled. So, yeah, he's not perfect. He may give up a run or 2 there, but you can count on him to limit the damage. So as long as he does that, like I said, it's going to be on the offense to capitalize.
Yeah. I'm there. But we got to jump into the Detroit Lions. Beat the Cowboys.
Yes.
You're going to be down at Jerry's World. You get the opportunity to exercise some demons. We keep asking, man, why do we have to go back to Jerry's World? We just played them. We always get holes when we're there. But you know what? We talk about this squad being narrative busters. We talk about Dan Campbell being able to go out there and say, you know what? We're nothing like the past. We've rewritten it. But one thing we haven't been able to solve is Jerry's World and the freaking Cowboys, man. Look, and maybe beating the Seahawks is a good omen towards this. But I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to talk about our keys to victory. The Lions are just a better team. Just beat the brakes off the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get a lot more granular.
Oh, no, but they are the better team, 100%. And they're the healthier team. More on that in just a second. But KG.
What up?
What are some of your keys to the Lions winning on Sunday?
Micah Parsons might not play in this game, and if he does not, run the effing football. Do what you do best. Line them up. You're going to have Frank Ragnow back in the lineup. Line them up. Let Gibbs go crazy. Let Monty go crazy. And then, once you got that defense all softened up, then go with the play action. Make plays here and there. But this doesn't need to be like a Jared Goff game or an air raid by any means. Stick to running the football and go at, pretty much what's been one of their weaknesses is running right at that defense. And, they can't run the ball. So also the Lions are very good at stopping the run. So I expect the Lions front four to do damage in this game. I don't know if Hutch gets a sack or not, but even if he doesn't, I expect that interior D-line to really show itself, man. DJ Reader, he's starting to, come into his own a little bit. Aleem McNeil is there as well. Stop the run, because you gonna let Ezekiel Elliott kill you?
No.
Absolutely not.
There's no chance.
Yeah.
But Dak has an opportunity to if you let him, and that's why I'm like, you know what? If they can't run the ball, you got to stop the run, but maybe you do something where you drop a little bit more into coverage, because I trust in the forefront. I trust in what Aiden Hutchinson has been able to do to get home.
Yeah.
If you can do that, I believe that you can put the Cowboys into some type of Honolulu Blue hell, like just straight up.
Yeah.
JB Smooth, what about you, brother? Keys to victory.
Keys to victory, I got to agree with KG on this one, because I do believe Micah Parsons and a few other defensive players for the Cowboys are out right now. So soften this team up with the run with Monty and Gibbs, the two-headed monster. Hell, they've already gone on socials talking about how they're Sonic and Knuckles back-to-back. So that's definitely a combination right there. You've also had a week off, so Ben Johnson has to have something schemed up for this offense as well, too, which I think is going to thrive in a dome once again where Jared Goff loves to play at. So once again, run the ball, then let Jared Goff soften you up in the secondary.
I think you guys pretty much hit it. I'm just going to further what you guys said. The Cowboys have a bottom 10 run defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're going up against the best O-line and the best running back duo. I believe that the Detroit Lions rushing attack is going to eat the Cowboys alive. I don't think they're going to know what hit them. I think it's going to be something like 150 yards at minimum on damn near 5 yards per carry. I know that's a big ask, but given how bad the Cowboys are at stopping the run and how good the Lions are at running the football behind that O-line with Monty and Gibbs, I think that it's very, very, very achievable, and I think they'll have the lead. So they'll stick to the run. And Ben Johnson has learned this year something he's already known, that if you stick to the run, you win the game, because nobody can stop it on a consistent basis.
I got a question, because I've seen this already in the chat a couple times, okay? The refs. Are you guys worried or concerned at all about the refs in Jerry's World? I just got to ask that just because I see it popping up here. I have not considered it, and I know that it played a huge role in last year's game, but
shit in all they meetings, really.
Yeah, honestly.
But that's where I'm like, if you're going to beat them, then you have to expect that. You have to expect that and rise above it at this point in time.
I want to be clear. I'm usually not somebody who blames the refs. Sometimes I cringe a little bit when...
That's because you root for the Chiefs and you get all the flags your way.
Every single flag. All right,
I'm glad you said it, Chase.
We're not talking about the Chiefs, but I can give you numerous examples of when the Chiefs actually didn't get the calls. But we're not talking about the Chiefs. Nobody wants to hear about that. We can have that discussion another day, maybe later on in the show. But what I was going to say is that when it came to last season, that was one where I even was like, bro, I'm not going to say that the Lions actually won the game, but they did take the lead with 20 seconds left, and the refs stole the game from them. That's what happened. And that's me saying it. So yes, I think at this point, if you're the Lions, you have to leave no doubt. I'm not saying you got to go in there and win 40-0. I'm just saying if there's a chance that the refs can play a role, what evidence do you have that they won't at this point?
Yeah, big facts.
At this point, you just have to leave no doubt. And one of the ways that you can leave no doubt, along with bludgeoning the Cowboys on the ground, is that have you seen the Cowboys injury report?
Yes,
you guys mentioned it before, but it's worse than you think for them, not for us. They're IR right now. Brandon Cooks, probably their second best receiver. DeMarcus Lawrence, the bookend pass rusher to Micah Parsons and a multiple-time Pro Bowler. Deron Bland, who hasn't played yet this season and was an all-pro last year, was an interception machine, a pick-6 machine at that. Sam Williams hasn't played at all this year, won't play at all this year, was one of their rotational pass rushers. Jordan Phillips is on IR. He was one of the rotational defensive line pieces. They picked him up from Buffalo in the offseason. And Marshawn Nealand, their promising rookie. All on IR. That's not questionable. That is injured freaking reserve. They for sure won't play. Let's look at their questionable list. Eric Kendricks, their linebacker. Trayvon Diggs, their other corner opposite Deron Bland. We know Deron Bland's not playing. And, of course, arguably their best player, it's either him or CD Lamb, Micah Parsons. All of those three guys are questionable, and none of them have been practicing this week. And that's along with the 6 that are on injured reserve. You can't feel sorry for teams. You just got to hit them where it hurts, kind of kick them while they're down. Because the Lions, on the other end, they're getting Frank Ragnow back. They're getting Brian Branch back. They've got some injuries themselves. You know, Derek Barnes, Marcus Davenport.
Kirby Joseph with the hamstring.
Kirby Joseph is questionable and iffy. But I think the Lions got it way easier in terms of the health range than the Cowboys do, because the Cowboys might be missing damn near all of their best players, especially defensively. Lions got to exploit that, and I think they will.
Yeah, they found a way to win with it last week, so we can't take them lightly either.
Sure.
They went against a tough Steelers defense and was able to pull out the game. But Kool-Aid, I thought you brought up a great point with the refs, and it is something always in the back of your mind when you play in Jerry World. But since you brought up the refereeing, I kind of wanted to caution fans and maybe kind of calm them down, because you're probably going to see.
Wait.
What?
We'll do that after the break.
All right, sounds good.
Tap in with therapist KG in the sound booth.
Yeah, let's talk real quick.
Let's definitely do that, man. Hey, look, now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance to make sure your carrier is not sipping in anything extra, including no extra fees. They protect you, I'm telling you. All you got to do, though, call Mark. Our guy Mark at Swiss Insurance today. That number, 313-530-1698. Or visit them online, SwissINS.com, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
We'll be right back.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
So I say merge?
I love our breaks.
Right. I love our breaks too.
Somebody said fight.
Like I said, you got to be in here when these breaks happen. I'm telling you, a lot more goes on than what you realize. But look, head over to WoodwardSports.com, click on that shop tab. New designs are dropping every single week for you guys. But you know, we still got the Stoke Not Scared. You got the Boodum Kids. And we also got the Tigers, the Woodward Sports Tigers, hoodies, T-shirts as well, too, that you can still be supporting, even if they're not at Comerica Park, or if you're headed down to Cleveland to watch Game 5. head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We got everything for you to get swagged out this season.
And we are back. What up, though? People, we are talking Detroit Lions. Big game on Sunday, the 4 o'clock slot. Detroit Lions versus the Cowboys in Jerry's World. So you guys already know some of those concerns are going to be resting, honestly, not with what I believe the Detroit Lions can or can't do on the field, but those refs, man. And I saw the chat family talking about it as well. And old Jarhead, I see you too. KG's rolling. Don't stop him. So you know what? We're going to talk about any concerns that we have. Chat family, you put last segment was Keys of Victory. This segment, your concerns for this game. And KG, you're going to talk about these refs, man, and why it might be a concern for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a concern in terms of the game. It's more so a concern in terms of the fans. I understand TA has been getting flagged a lot, and it's been a big topic of conversation, you know, amongst the fan base. You got everywhere from, TA sucks to, the refs, you know, have kind of been ticky-tack, which I do believe that in some scenarios, but there have been other scenarios where it's clear he's holding on too long or just overplaying a receiver, but he's going to get flagged in this game, and we need to be prepared for that as Lions fans. Now, do I think it'll be egregious? No, because when you look at most of the flags that Terrion Arnold has gotten during this season, they haven't been necessarily flags that have killed the Lions. You know, it hasn't been a game on the line scenario and Terrion Arnold gives one up and they get a go-ahead score and they lose the game. It hasn't been stuff like that. Would you like to see him clean some of this stuff up? Yes, because I think his biggest problem is he's still learning how to play the ball instead of playing the receiver. You know, you're coming from an SEC program where it's kind of okay to be handsy, and he's used to doing this for so long. He has to still get adjusted to, you know, playing the NFL style, and I feel like he's doing a great job. I mean, if you watch the coverage, you know, and watch some of the plays that he has, he's always there with the receiver. He's not getting cooked by any means of the imagination. And just sometimes it's just inopportune times where he gets flagged. But you got to be prepared for that going into Jerry World, a place where we're known to get flagged for, you know, pretty stupid things. Be prepared for that, but I don't think it's going to ultimately cost this Lions team. They'll be able to fight through it, but you know, just bear with Terrion Arnold, because I've been seeing a lot of that, you know, over the last 3 weeks, and I'm kind of sick of it, man. If you really watch this kid and what he's been able to accomplish this season, he's been fine. He's been fine. This is a far cry from what we had last year. You know, you want to talk about CeeDee Lamb. What did CeeDee Lamb do to us last year? Almost 200 motherfucking yards.
Everything.
I promise you that's not going to happen in this game.
You got some pushback, though. I'm salty saying most flat corner in the NFL. And you think,
that.
Oh, yeah, it's okay?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's a process. He's going to learn. He's still a young corner. Do we not realize that corner is the toughest turnaround in terms of the NFL? Like,
Talk about it.
It's tough, man. Not everybody comes in is Darrelle Revis. Even Darrelle Revis wasn't Darrelle Revis when he first came in. I mean, this thing takes time, man. Just bear with the kid. But ultimately, the flags have not cost this team, and that's all I'm saying.
You know what, Brian Ruth, he actually agrees with you. He says TA is getting better every week, and at least he's in play to get a flag 100% better than those before him. Facts. And I agree with that. That's what we've continued to talk about with Terrion Arnold all season, is that this defense is not getting torched in the same manner that it was last season with cornerbacks that had more experience than him. But you see TA right now, he's in position to make plays. He just has to get better with his technique. Asking not to change that transition from college to NFL, but I'm bullish on him right now, man. I really am.
Well, yeah, and most certainly he's had some struggles, some rookie growing pains, particularly with penalties, but he was also tasked with being, I wouldn't say the savior of a secondary, but coming in as a rookie and being one of the main components of turning around a secondary that cost the Lions last year. That's a lot to put on a rookie's shoulders, and I think for the most part, he has done a good job. And speaking of corners, by the way, I have to do a little bit of an about face. It does look like Deron Bland did get taken off of injured reserve, I believe, on Wednesday, and is on track to potentially play. So take everything I said about Deron Bland and throw it in the trash, but everything else still stands. They still are very banged up in some ways, but that's the thing, and that's where it transitions into me and my concerns, and I think it's similar to everybody else's. It's the Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb connection. The burden of proof is on the Lions to prove that they can handle the Cowboys, they can handle CeeDee Lamb better than they did last year. And for the record, the Lions have been on a early season redemption tour. I mean, week 1, you're staring at Puka Nacua in the face, and the Lions won that game. Puka got hurt, but still, I count that as that's obviously a win. Week 2, the Lions lost that game, but you had Mike Evans staring at you. And I know Chris Godwin actually had a good game, but Mike Evans didn't really kill you, and the Lions defense did enough. Go ahead to week 4, the Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. And Geno Smith put up some yards, don't get me wrong, but with the Lions and the redemption of that game, it was more about beating the Seahawks, no matter what DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett did, because, the Seahawks were a bit of a bugaboo for the Lions. But this is the one. How improved is this Lions secondary? How improved are they? Can you hold CeeDee Lamb? Because CeeDee Lamb last year, in KG, you said almost 200, and I had to look it up. CeeDee Lamb had 227 receiving yards last year, including a 92-yarder, which was off of Kindle Vildor, by the way. It was off of Kindle Vildor, and he's not going to be playing any significant snaps, we hope.
Yeah, I'd put my check that won't happen in this game.
Because if it does, I think the Lions will lose. But we've seen it. We've seen it with the secondary. It's much better. And I think with CeeDee Lamb, he presents an interesting matchup because he lines up about half of the time in the slot. So I could see Carlton Davis on him for some plays. I could see Terrion Arnold on him. I could see Amik on him. And hell, I could even see Brian Branch on him. I think they all might play a role. So it's a very unique matchup going up against CeeDee Lamb, but I think this Lions defensive back room is up for the challenge, at least in terms of limiting him somewhat, not letting him get off for a 92-yard touchdown and 227 yards.
And Sam, I think you hit the nail on the head. They are going to move CeeDee Lamb around, so that's why I kind of wanted to talk about this, because they're going to target Terrion Arnold. They know that he's the most flagged corner in the NFL so far. So you got to expect they're going to go at this kid, and he has to, he got to go through his lumps, man. But ultimately, I do feel like he will be there every step of the way. He probably will get flagged a couple times, justified or not. We got to be able to deal with that. As long as it doesn't cost us the game, I'm good.
Yeah, definitely. And so far to this point, we've seen that this Lions defense has seemed to be better in their secondary coverage than last year. I have a lot more confidence in them, though they still have things to clean up, and that is to be expected. Cornerback is not an easy position to just walk into the NFL and just play day one. That's what the numbers will tell you if you want to look at the percentages. There are very special players that have done that, but to me, seeing everything we've seen from the past, especially, and I'm not even going to say his name, a cornerback that we drafted, I don't understand how people are going to sit here right now and have anything realistically overarchingly negative about TA. Things to clean up, some helpful criticisms, yes, but this guy has been in position. That's what I've seen.
And that's the thing. It's about little criticisms. It's about things that he can clean up. It's not about throwing them away after 4 games. And for the record, I don't think most people are doing it.
Yeah.
Although I've seen a few comments in the chat.
I'm telling you, they out there. They are out there.
They're out there. But to just further the whole Lions defense thing to go into the secondary, a lot of what can help the secondary is the pass rush. And the Cowboys, they've got some guys in their offensive line. Tyler Smith is a really good guard. Zach Martin, he's not what he once was, but he's still really good. But they're also starting 2 rookies. Tyler Guyton has really struggled at left tackle for the Cowboys, and he's protecting Dak's blind side. Aiden Hutchinson up against a rookie, good luck. And they're also starting Cooper Beebe at center. And don't get me wrong, I loved Cooper Beebe coming out. I think a lot of us did too. Yeah. But he's a rookie center staring right across from DJ Reader. That's where I think the defensive line in the pass rush is going to have to take advantage of some mismatches, because a rookie against Aiden Hutchinson, mismatch. DJ Reader against a rookie center, mismatch. Whether it's a Lee McNeil playing nose against a rookie center, that is a mismatch. You got to create opportunities like that, because they're like Terrence Steele, by the way, is the Cowboys' right tackle. He's all right. I already mentioned Zach Martin. I already mentioned Tyler Smith. But they got 2 rookies out there. This isn't the Cowboys' offensive line of yesteryear that had Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith and Zach Martin at their absolute apex. It's very gettable. It's very vulnerable to a pass rush, and that will help the defense, and that will help the defensive backs in containing said CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, hey, and Mr. JB Smooth always the voice of reason. I got to ask you, man, what are your concerns or any concerns for this game? Including if you want to talk about those darn refs in Jerry's world.
I mean, it's always going to come down to the refs when it comes to Jerry's world. And you know they're going to be eyeing Terrion Arnold 100% in this. But I believe what KG said as well, too. Like, CeeDee Lamb is going to travel all over this field. So you kind of need to be aware of that as well, too. They're going to be trying to target Terrion Arnold because they know that he is an easy flag getter. Honestly, if he can get some safety help, which hopefully the Lions know about this as well, too, then it won't be as bad. But still, at the same time, the refs are going to ref. Jerry has him in his back pocket right now. I think this is going to be the Detroit Lions versus the Cowboys and the refs when it comes to Sunday. And we just got to find a way to persevere and get through this scene.
Yep, definitely. And, man, it's like when I looked at this thing, I was thinking about concerns from such a on-the-field, like plays, X's and O's, strategies. And you know what? The two things that have kind of perked up here is the refs. And it's interesting here because Terrion Arnold does provide them, at least based on what they can say track record, an opportunity to say, you know what, we can be highly critical or scrutinary about the type of defense he's playing against big-time receivers. So it's just like, you know what, big spot for TA.
Yeah.
Had a couple weeks, some film study. I trust in this coaching staff. This is an opportunity I'm hoping over the last couple weeks he's getting healthier, as is the rest of the team. You're able to sit and watch the film and show some improvements against, honestly, a not so easy receiving core to defend.
No, it's not, and led by one of the best in the game. And I think that's where, no matter who's going up against him, it's going to be tough because let's not get it twisted. There's not a single corner on Detroit that can cover CeeDee Lamb consistently one-on-one.
No.
There aren't that many in the National Football League that can do that, if any. But this is a big spot for them. It's the big spot for the defensive line. And DNCENT, I just want to read this really quick.
Yeah,
because I want to give a voice to some pushback because I don't even think what you're saying is really out of pocket. Am I throwing out TA? Absolutely not. But is 30 to 40 yards and penalties unacceptable from any but is 30 to 40 yards and penalties acceptable from any player in the league? Absolutely not. Gotta take the Honolulu blue glasses off.
I don't think anybody here said it's acceptable, though.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
and
yeah.
We literally had a whole
Yeah.
segment where we said we're going to criticize him, but we still have hope for him, and we like at least what he's presenting this early on than what we've seen in the past.
Exactly. He's come in and kind of hit the ground running, and this is what you wanted to see from your first round corner. And, you know, to address DNC, you know, shout out to him. It's not like going forward, if this is like year 3 and he's still doing stuff like this, then I have a problem. But it's year 1. Like, going forward, it won't be acceptable. And I'm totally on board with that. But it's his rookie season right now, and he's doing the job that you need him to do. So, yes, I'm giving him a little bit of slack. But, of course, going forward, this, you know, he can't keep doing that.
No, and he's doing what he's asked to do. And I'm not even saying that he's always played well. He's had his moments where it's like, man, that's a rookie. But he's also had moments where he's been right there in stride with great receivers, particularly Marvin Harrison Jr. And that's really nice to see him winning a lot of matchups with his rookie counterpart, who's also really hyped up. Those are the things you want to see from Terrion Arnold. You're going to see him get got by a couple great receivers, which he has, but you've also seen him lay the boom. You've also seen him be good in coverage. You've seen him be stout against the run. I don't think there's any more that you can ask of him right now, especially since the defense has not cost you one game this season. The one game that you lost, you gave up 20 points to the Buccaneers. And if you would have told me that through 4 games of the season that the defense hasn't cost you anything, I would have been doing backflips. So I guess I should do a backflip right now because the defense has been fine.
Trying to tell you.
I'm not going to. That's why I don't make declarations like that. But you understand what I'm saying. Terrion Arnold has not cost this team anything. And that's all you can ask. He's a rookie.
Well stated. You know what? We got to get into the game predictions.
Yes.
JB Smooth, let's get that chat poll going because I didn't think that I would see Lions fans in the chat kind of a little less stoked than normal. I thought this is the Cowboys week. We're ready for this Super Bowl expected season, and I see people in the chat talking about the refs, talking about TA. Let's just see where this poll goes. let's get into the next segment.
Absolutely, but I got to tell you about Mark White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White.
Oh, he can defend CeeDee Lamb.
Yo, he can jump with CeeDee Lamb. That's for damn sure. You want to get a jump ball against Mark White? Refer to our old Mark White ads, by the way. Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a new limited time offer just in time for this football season. Soroki's is debuting their fresh signature flavored wings. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add fresh wings for the games this weekend. Try one of their 7 different flavors. Visit their website at sorokis.com.
And what up, though, people? We are back in this Wake Up Woodward, and in this segment, we're going to give you guys our game predictions. But hey, just want to make sure we shout out the chat a little bit. All right, Xavier D. As many eyes are going to be on the refs than there are going to be on the. Then it's going to be the game itself. I know Detroit is definitely going to have, like, if they have like a cam, hey, one on the game, one on the refs, to keep them honest for sure. Jay Hart, TA is a rook that has went up against some of the best in the league and has been matched up against good vets. Refs are going to target him based on him being a rook alone. Yeah. The rook will be just fine. Greg, I like stories anyway. Chuck Brewer, Kool-Aid, we're in a new world. Regular season games are just the path to qualifying for the playoffs. That is where all our hopes and goals lie. In Steve-O, baby. Oh, Steve-O. I see Flan over there grinning. Steve-O, baby. We were having a decent morning digesting all of this stuff and being mature about losses and now breaking down the lines. Yeah. He says, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. He put that twice. Blaming the refs? Really? How about the Lions do something that they didn't do last year and make a 2-point conversion?
I mean, here's the thing. You don't want to put it into the hands of a 2-point conversion. I get that. There are some things that the Lions could have done better last year, like on the drive before the Lions went down and had the game winner. Jared Goff threw an interception. It looked like he threw the game away, and then Mike McCarthy did his Mike McCarthy thing and mismanaged the clock.
Yep.
I get all of that. I get that they didn't play perfect. It's just, it wasn't that a penalty took it away. It was how the penalty took it away. It was just either incompetence or malfeasance. Either explanation is bad. The whole Decker didn't report, the whole late flag where we were all celebrating. That's the type of shenanigans we're talking about. Not even the penalty. It was how egregious it was.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say we're necessarily blaming the refs or, trying to find an excuse. The Lions didn't execute. Last year they had 3 opportunities or 2 extra after that play happened to win the game, and they didn't get it done. So, I mean, it's solely on executing. But, I mean, the refs are a factor. We got to be real, man. Every time we've gone to Dallas, there's been some type of BS shenanigan or flag late in the game, with high stakes and high drama that is kind of, taking the overall story of the game. But we're not blaming the refs at all, Steve-O. I wouldn't go that far.
Nah, not at all. Not at all blaming the refs. But you have to call it a factor because we've seen it play vital impacts in the outcomes of these games.
Yeah.
Period. And then when you see all of the weird stuff of heads of the referees coming off of Jerry World's bus, I'm sorry. I'm not going to just sit here and act like, oh, I didn't see that. No. It can't keep happening this way. It can't keep happening to us. And at some point in time, it's not about blaming. It's about looking them in the face and saying, bro, we're not standing for this. And for me personally, that's why I'm hoping that this organization is at right now. I know that you can't control everything that the referees do, but I'm sorry, man. We've seen this play itself out too many times, and what we're saying is, who cares about blaming the refs? There's a lot of things the Detroit Lions can do to win this game beyond just the refs, and it's where we started the segment. I said I didn't even think the refs were a factor, but I saw the chat. Yeah. For me, just go in there, punch them in the nose. Just one of those quick, and just go about your day. I'm not even worried about the Cowboys.
Speaking of which, let's start with game predictions. How about you go first, Kool-Aid? Because you seem to have an overriding formula already at the top of the
70-0. No.
70-0.
I'm fired up.
Kool-Aid called it.
I believe the defense is actually going to score in this game. I do. I do. I believe the defense is going to score in this game. I do believe that the offense is going to have another really, really good game. Mm-hmm. And I got the Lions winning 31-17.
31-17, KG.
Give me 28-17 Lions. This game is going to be on the shoulders of Dak Prescott, because we all know they not running the ball against us. Nobody runs the ball against us, especially a washed Ezekiel Elliott. Miss me with that. So they have one option and one option only. That is CeeDee Lamb in this game. So it's going to be on the shoulders of Dak. And like I said, he had 300 yards last week, but he also had a lot of turnovers as well. So he's going to make the ball available to this defense. They just have to be able to capitalize on it. The Lions run the ball. They'll be fine. They're going to dominate in this game, 28-17.
Chase?
I'm going to say 27-20. Lions win.
Ooh, closer.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Any reasons why?
I mean, I think like the final score may look, it's a touchdown game. That's a comfortable win to me. So.
27-20?
Yeah.
And it's not far from me. I got field goals more for each of them.
Yeah.
So I feel that.
JB?
I'm going 28-20. Like, it'll be close, but still at the same time, the defense is going to make some mistakes, but still it relies on the offense. Can you sit here and put up more points than Dak Prescott is going to throw interceptions, which I do predict that Terrion Arnold will get an interception from Dak this weekend.
The first pick?
Yeah, his first pick right there.
You said TA?
TA. First pick.
Would that be something?
I'm pretty
Wouldn't
bullish on
that
TA.
be something?
JB called it.
I hope I'm right on this.
Hey, right now I'm seeing a lot of blowouts in the chat going the Lions away.
31-6.
Yeah. 31 is that's a lie.
Okay, so if somebody wants to after this result happens, say Flannel called it, you're gonna have to say Flannel and Chase called it, because I actually have 27-20 as well. Not even just I tried to copy you. That's the
look
score.
at y'all getting along.
I know.
That's so nice.
That shit's sweet.
That's the score that I had in my head. But no, honestly, I don't like to be dismissive of opponents, but I'm going to be dismissive of Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
The Cowboys are rushing for less than 30 yards, whether they like it or not. They are rushing for less than 30 yards, and they're rushing for less than 2 yards a carry. Whether they like it or not, that's what they're going to get, because they can't run the ball, and the Lions can stop the run. They even did it last year when their defense overall wasn't good. And they've gotten better personnel. I also think what we're going to see is, oppositely, the Lions do run the ball. They control the clock. They control time of possession. Jared Goff is able to operate off of play action. He makes a couple of big throws. They run for over 150 yards. But I also think Dak Prescott, the Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb connection, they will get theirs to some degree. I think CeeDee Lamb does go over 100. I think Dak has a type of game where he maybe attempts 45 to 50 passes and gets like 310 yards, a touchdown and a pick. A lot of work between the 20s, a lot of, I don't want to say empty yards, but I could see it being something like they're down 27-13 and then they get a touchdown and then the Lions get a first down on the ground and run the clock out. The passing to running ratio for the Cowboys will be something like 48-10.
Yeah.
I honestly think they're going to abandon the run quickly. 27-20 Lions.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Step Brothers vibes. What's going on here? Chase and Fano about to do Ronnie in the garage after this.
Right.
Vincent E. Do you have a drum set?
Right.
Well, I hope none of us does that to a drum
Boots
set.
and hoes.
Right. You put your nutsack on my drum set. Bro, that movie is hilarious.
Oh,
it's one of the
snap.
funniest movies.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Goodness gracious. But
Oh my God.
you know what?
I'm
Largely,
burying you.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was supposed to say, largely, I think everybody's kind of in lockstep. I love to see the optimism of everybody in the chat. And just tell me, where's your optimism coming from? Because I'm seeing a lot of blowouts right now, a lot of optimism, a lot of stoke, not scared. Let me know what your keys to victory. Why are they going to get this thing? Why are they going to just have a field day? So let's get into this next segment because we got everybody's favorite. That is what's trending. And where do we go first?
We got Boys and Girls Club, then the watch party.
Hey, Boys and Girls
Catalina
Club.
wine mix.
The
Shout out Brian
Catalina
Root.
wine mixer.
Right.
Kind of the opposite of the Boys and Girls Club, but I can see some similarities. Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League offers youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included, all for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
And watch party.
Hey, it is a New Holland Brewing Company watch party and post-game show with the heavyweights and Stick and Anson. Live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. And why? Because we want to be able to enjoy each and every game with you all. So we hope that you guys show up, get some good food, some good drinks, and the environment is absolutely electric. And other Woodward Sports personalities are in the building too. And if you can't be there, make sure you're plugged in only on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. So we get the game started right, and everybody's going crazy at every single big play. And then instant analysis right after the game with Stick and Anson with the post-game show. All of this brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Charlie, your local long drink, 1800 tequila, Sabbath coffee. Hey, get there, and you're going to definitely get some Sorokis as well. Let's rock. Go Lions.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties, and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. And celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
And attention, sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. We might have to call him in to talk about Kerry Carpenter. I saw you guys in the chat talking about it because you already know he's been breaking these things down. He even called Jahmyr Gibbs right as well, saying, listen, the stuff around his hamstring is not that serious. Maybe he can tell us and give us some insight on Kerry Carpenter as well. But Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And you know what, JB? We won't deliberate any further or keep the people waiting any longer. Let's spark a word to Dispo, man.
Let's get it.
Let's watch.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Bizzle.
Hey. What's going on, fellas? Happy Friday to everyone out there. Everyone in the chat family as well. Got a little bit of news for you guys. First, I want to talk to you guys about Easy Money. I'm sure everyone else in the room knows that Carrie Underwood sings the Sunday Night Football theme, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know how much she gets paid for singing this said theme?
Probably a lot of money.
Oh, it's $1 million per play.
A shit ton of money. Yes, Chase, you are correct. It is $1 million per song each week.
Damn.
What?
It's the same song.
No. They changed the teams.
Well, yeah, but like that's an easy go in the studio, record a couple lines about the teams.
She spends all day in that studio and sings every possible combination of games for that season. It's a hard working day. She earns that $18 million. She won American Idol.
And
yeah, she did. Shout out Carrie, man.
And she was.
She shouldn't have won over Jennifer Hudson, but that's another story for another time. That's another story for another time. But
that's a story for another time. But all I know is that Carrie Underwood has been one of my biggest celebrity crushes for years. So
Facts.
Oh yeah. An alternate version of Old Flannel Sam definitely was like
Is that our John Stamos
type.
Sam?
Right.
Yeah, right. It's like into like the country ladies. I'll just say that. An alternate version. I love my wife.
Flannel be at home the very next time of day
But yeah, I just had to let you guys.
That is a staple at karaoke.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh my god. But yeah, I had to let you guys know that Carrie Underwood is sitting here making bank every single Sunday. $1 million, which is unbelievable.
Let me hold $1.
I know, for real. What's also unbelievable as well, too, and Kool-Aid, you and me talked about this the other day as well, but
sir.
Cam Newton will now be one of your hosts on First Take. And it starts today.
Yeah, like, bro, I saw this news, and I was like, wait, that's Adam Schefter reporting on this?
Yeah.
I didn't even see like what the full logistics are because they had Shannon and they got Stephen A. Now you're telling me you're adding Cam Newton to this mix?
That's a bit of a shocker just because Cam is good. Don't get me wrong. I like his podcast a lot. He's very good like in the media space, but he's a little on the edgier side. You know,
right, does he fit what ESPN wants right now? JB, we said we might have to have some type of ticker or something on this, man. How long does he last?
How long will he last?
Something wild.
First Take.
They brought Shannon Sharp on.
Right. Shannon Sharp banged a girl on IG Live, and he's still there, so they'll be all right.
But it wasn't on actual First Take. Cam is liable to do something on First Take.
Yeah, quite ridiculous.
I mean, he got played in the NFL. Yeah. He was in front of live reporters and like cameras and stuff like that all the time. It's not like they just plucked some dude off the street.
No.
He's done media training before.
Yeah,
no, I think the difference is Shannon Sharp, he had a track record of being pretty much a professional on Undisputed for so many years. I don't think he slipped up and dropped any F-bombs or anything like that. But no.
Michelle!
But anywho, this is, I hate to say it, but there was a golden age of embrace debate, and we're not in it right now.
No.
I remember the days where it was Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman on First Take and Skip and Shannon on Undisputed. And for the record, I think...
Give me Iguodala!
Yeah.
I think Skip Bayless is the Antichrist. But at the same time,
for real.
It was compelling television. And then, of course, Max Kellerman, I kind of see a little bit of myself in Max Kellerman. So you all know I liked him.
Hey, you know, but I like Cam Newton. I think he keeps it real. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing goes.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how far it goes. Good luck to you, Cam. Hopefully this turns out pretty good for you, but we will be keeping a close eye just to know.
Out at that football camp, dressed up like the Scarecrow, bro, but defending himself like Batman. Mm-hmm. Did you guys remember that from earlier in the offseason? He was running a football camp, and there was some guys who just decided they wanted to try and test him.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah,
nothing to him. It was hilarious.
People don't understand that professional athletes are like greater than 1%ers in terms of athletic ability. You don't want to try anything with anybody.
Right, or try it with Wes Welker, not fucking Cam Newton. I mean, the guy, he's huge. Like,
It was like three people trying to get him down to the ground. He's
like fucking kids trying to fight Cam Newton, bro. Like he's a fucking giant, bro.
Yeah, he had to go
what
up
are you
against
doing?
Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis every day in practice.
Yeah, like come on. What are we talking about?
Maybe while I'm sitting in my chair, maybe I could take Rodrigo Blankenship or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe Hot Rod I could take.
You gotta pick your battles,
slowly
man.
going down more and
I
more.
look like I'm taking my school picture or something.
What is happening right now?
Smile for the camera.
Oh my God.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get on What's Trending.
You never know what you're gonna get on What's Trending. Once again, shout out to Cam Newton. Good luck, my dude. But man, you guys, I hope when you're crossing the street, you always gotta remember to look both ways.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
What the?
Well, he got up, so that's a relief. He was
He's
able
going
to
to
get
feel
up.
all of that tomorrow.
No, big facts.
Oh my.
The dude filming needs to be closer to the road spotting you at the same time. Like, just
What? That was going to end bad regardless because once he got to the street, if that car didn't come, he's hitting that parked car across the street. Like, I don't understand what that's about. Like, what were you trying to accomplish there?
Oh my God! If I'm the driver of the car, I am.
What do? You just keep going?
Well, is there damage to his car though?
I can't tell. I think it's
I
more
can't
damage.
tell either.
Like
I think
maybe
it's
a little bit.
I think the bike is damaged. I think that car kept rolling. Probably a
Good.
scuff mark, but
Good.
he probably got a little scuff mark on
I
there.
hope there's no damage to the car.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Oh,
what
there
he was trying
definitely
to
is
do
going
there.
to be some type of damage,
That's
like
fair,
whether it be
yeah.
a dent or something. But
Yeah.
like,
Minimal, I should say.
yeah.
I'm probably getting out and whooping his ass. Yeah. Just being real about it. What are you doing? It's nighttime. What the fuck? You think it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, my dog? Like, what are we doing here?
Tony, that was a hell of a game.
Oh, great game.
Hell of a soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Hell of a
Here
soundtrack.
I am, getting older all the time.
Right.
Oh,
I'm
I know
getting
that.
older all the time.
That's a fact.
Feeling younger in my mind.
Put my water back out.
You remember that?
No,
I remember that. Those are some bangers. Trust me. Back in high school, Friday nights, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. You can't go wrong with that. And finally, I will end What's Trending with this. But damn, Coach, I know it was a good play, but you didn't have to do me like that.
Oh, what? Holy shit.
Yeah.
What?
How hard did you hit my dog?
That looked like the guy who just ran into the car. Goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Good
fucked
play.
up, bro.
Like,
You know what, bro?
damn.
As a parent, like I be playing with my kids, and sometimes I have to dial back the excitement. I remember one time I just kind of did one of those, and Jeremiah just Kid Kool-Aid flew into the couch. Luckily, I was just like, oh my gosh, man, my wife would have killed me.
All right.
Man, it's you do see that though. Sometimes these I'm surprised there aren't more celebration injuries because some of these are wild.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you saw that. Remember in the World Baseball Classic when Edwin Diaz got injured celebrating a World Baseball Classic win and he missed the whole season? You see it from time to time.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephen Tulloch.
Yeah. But it wasn't your coach doing that
Right.
to you.
This is
like, if he gets injured, it's your fault. Like,
Yeah, and it's your quarterback too.
That's crazy.
I'm so mad I missed the Hot Rod references from the last clip too. Shout out to Hot Rod, one of my favorite movies. Bro.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to
I've
Hot
been
Rod.
drinking green tea. I got to.
Oh my God.
Freaking pumped.
That's it for What's Trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Hey, what up, though? JB Smooth. Great job as always with What's Trending.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's get into this.
I got Salvation Army and then Feldman for you first. Have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7th and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com, and then after your volunteer shift, go get yourself a car. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and it's time now for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by Feldman Automotive Group. So definitely get those questions into the chat. Use hashtag Feltman Mailbag. It's a little bit easier to find them. But it looks like we got one. Alan W. Should we be rooting for the Bengals to keep losing? So they're maybe open to trading Hendrickson at the deadline. I read he might have gotten hurt, but that'll make Brad want him more.
That's funny, actually.
Right?
Any pathway to the Lions getting Trey Hendrickson, we should root for. If it means the Bengals tanking, then that's what we got to root for.
Hey.
It's just Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been. It's insane that they have one win.
Yeah.
Yep.
They ain't fighting out of this one. That's all I know.
Yeah.
They ain't getting out of this one this time.
Speaking of people getting hurt as well, too, I think I sent it to you guys, but if the Rams actually keep sliding and keep coming up with more L's and more, they could be potentially trying to look to trade both Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Wow, I did see some of those reports.
Yeah.
That's wild. Trading Matthew Stafford, too. I mean, at least
It was only a matter of time. Like,
yeah, he got you the ring.
His window was limited because of all the injuries he's taken. Maybe if he was a little bit on the healthier side, you consider keeping him longer. But this was always what it was going to be. It's just miraculous that they was able to make the playoffs after effing them picks and, getting back there. But, yeah.
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 Jordan from MI, hashtag Feldman Mailbag. What young players on all Detroit teams do you guys think has the most potential to become a superstar?
That's so. Who already is a superstar? Amon-Ra probably. Panay.
Where do we put Scoops?
Scooble. Yeah, I'd say he's already
Scoops,
there.
yeah.
Aiden, you could argue. Although I think he's maybe a step below a superstar. I'd say out of the ones that aren't, I'm gonna go Cade.
Yeah,
because you know how
gotta be
bullish I
Cade.
am on him. I think he is the driving force on a much improved Pistons team, and he puts up those same all-star numbers as last year, just more efficient, and hey, maybe even a few more points and assists.
I probably got to go with Cade as well, too. I mean, given the fact of the superstars that we know of right now, I think Cade's on the up and coming, and he just needs just a little bit more time. And I definitely think this season you will see him, have that breakout year. So give me Cade.
I'm saying Cade, and I'm still very, very bullish on Jaden Ivey and what he can be too. I really am. I really am. What about you, KG?
What was the question?
Is it Cade, basically?
I said Cade. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. Hey, let's get to another one. Number of runs Tigers need to score in order to win tomorrow. That is from IT Hips.
Or to win tomorrow?
At least 3.
I think 3 wins it. I really do.
Yeah.
At least 3.
I'm going with 4 just to get that insurance, run, and then we're good. But give me 4.
So it's in the bag, but just somewhere in that
something you
7th,
just need to be
8th
safe.
inning, you get
I just
another
need
one.
one more.
Dope. What else? Hey, Feldman Mailbag. This is for JB and KG from Dante151. Do you think, or who do you think will win between Brian Danielson and John Moxley?
It'll probably be Danielson. I don't think he's dropping the title to Moxley just yet. I know they want to do this retirement tour with Danielson. Although I feel like this would have been the opponent to maybe drop the belt to him later on down the line. They want to do the match now, so hey, I think Danielson's gonna come out with the victory.
This might just be my hate because I'm not a huge Brian Danielson fan. So
You just mad at
give me
Swerve.
John Moxley.
You mad that it ain't Swerve.
I'm still mad that it ain't Swerve. I'm still upset about the whole thing. I know he'll be at Wrestle Dream, but still at the same time, damn, come on.
Brian Danielson is a legend, though. We got to put respect on his name, man.
He is a legend.
He's
but
a legend, bro. And
he's
this
not
is his
for me.
last run, essentially. It's his retirement tour. So
he got to do the same retirement tour like John Cena?
I mean,
you can't cover up one retirement tour with the other. Now, come on.
I mean, well, John Cena's is happening afterwards, and he's going to have the bigger retirement tour. He's John Cena. But Brian Danielson, for what he's done on the indie scene and for what he's done on the main stage as well, you got to give him his props. That's all I'm saying.
It's Moxley for me. I'm just saying.
One more wrestling one for our elite booth over there. John F. and Lord Feldman Mailbag. Which side is the Rock one? OG Bloodline or the New Bloodline?
A New Bloodline.
Yeah, it's New Bloodline.
Yeah, they already leaked footage that Solo Sikoa was saying that this was part of the plan to the Tongans when they was running through the crowd at Bad Blood. And yeah, the Rock, I think they may be trying to set up for a triple threat match. That's the word on the street right now. Cody, Rock, and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania this year. Don't know if it's going to happen like that. Don't know if I necessarily like that idea, but hey, it is what it is. But it's good to see The Rock back on television.
Yeah, it's the New Bloodline. As KG said, they already seen Solo hinting at that with the crowd. So they're setting up something for Survivor Series, but I believe an insider did put out that The Rock said he will not be available for this next year's WrestleMania. So those plans are kind of up in the air right now.
Players, did Sam really just say that Hutch is not a superstar yet? Who spiked his drink with the Spartan Kool-Aid?
Oh, boy.
He is like one step below superstar.
Fair.
To me, superstar edge rushers, that's like a Nick Bosa or a TJ Watt or a Micah Parsons. I know I'm missing a couple. Yeah. Max Crosby.
Somebody that's done it over multiple years.
I think Hutch, he is one dominant year from potentially being even better than some of those guys that I mentioned. If he wins Defensive Player of the Year, you can make an argument that he's the best out of all of those. He just has to do it over the course of a season. But I've got confidence that he will. He will be a superstar in short order.
And you know what? I got a question as well. Other than our All-Stars, who will step up or who needs to step up for the Detroit Tigers? Like, who do you think will be that third player? You got Scoob, you got Green. Who is it for you?
For me, I am going to go with – this is tough. You know who I think is actually gonna come up big? I'm gonna go Matt Vierling.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs to bounce back.
I think he's another one that's due. We've seen him throughout the whole season. He was one of your better players. He was as consistent as can be, and he's just another one. He's experienced, he's been in the playoffs, and you can't keep somebody who is that reliable down to offers forever. So look for him to have at least one big hit on Saturday.
Yeah, and I already told you it's Torque, man. Torque got to step up in this spot. I know that may be a lot to ask, but he has that power element that you will be missing if Kerry Carpenter has to miss time. Also, honorable mention to Colt Keith. He has to step up as well. So.
And Eric Allen mentioned Myles Garrett was one that I forgot. Obviously, he's another superstar edge rusher. But like I said, Hutch can surpass all of them if he wins Defensive Player of the Year this year. I really believe that.
What about Chase?
I'll tap in on KG's honorable mention and go with Colt Keith, especially if we don't have Kerry Carpenter. We're going to need his bat on the left side of the plate.
That's fair. That's fair.
And JB Smooth, who is your MVP behind Terry Scooble and Riley Green?
I got to go with KG as well, too. It's got to be Torque on this one. Honorable mention, I do think Parker Meadows is doing great, but still, any help to get some hits and get some runs going would be amazing. So give me Torque for me, but honorable mention Parker Meadows.
It's funny because we did kind of forget about Parker Meadows, but to me Parker Meadows has been fine. There's nothing. There's no underperforming whatsoever from him.
I didn't want to name him because I think he's already been stepping up enough.
Yeah,
sure.
I think Colt Keith is someone who could definitely do a little bit more for us.
Yeah. And Tommy Cass, see you in the chat. He did put Parker Meadows. Austin Kelly, win seal, 110%.
He's been fine, though.
Austin Kelly also believes that Torque is a liability.
I mean, it's hard.
I'm trying to deny that.
You know what I will say? Even if you can't necessarily agree, you can't be mad at somebody for feeling that way.
Yeah.
Torque hasn't done enough. And I get it. He's been better the last couple of games, but over the course of a regular season, he played so poorly he got sent to the minors, and he started off his postseason career, 0 for 13?
Yeah.
He's got to show more. He just does. He's got to show more to save his career in Major League Baseball, not just the Tigers.
Facts.
Yep. Hey, you know what? We'll end it on a Pistons one. Jay Hart. Hashtag Feldman mailbag. Kool-Aid, could you see Asar playing more of the backup point guard role when Cade is off the floor, with J.I. having some reps as well? Hey, that's an interesting one. He said, and could we see lineups with Sasser, J.I., and Cade? Honestly, the three-guard rotation I want to see is Cade, J.I., and Ron Holland.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys get going because when Ron Holland first got to the league, I thought when we first drafted him, I was thinking more wing like Asar. But he's more wing like a guard. Kind of more or less in that mode of like Cade Cunningham, but obviously different skill sets.
Yeah.
But he can operate as more of that kind of facilitator, transition, push, and then the defense as well.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of want to see. But Asar, that's somebody I've been wanting to see get a few more opportunities to play in the pick and roll, either as a screen and roller or as the main ball handler. I think it helps to put him in a much better position than just kind of standing stationary as a outside 3-point shooter.
I feel you, but that's what I worry about, his ball handling. You know, can he take on that kind of a role, you know, as far as like running the offense and half court sets?
That's what he did at Ignite, though.
Yeah, I mean, true. I just don't know what that looks like at the NBA level for him. I think he's great in a lot of other areas. I don't necessarily know about him being, you know, that type of guard, but yeah.
So Kool-Aid, no Lonzo Ball for you? You don't want Lonzo on the team?
Out of that list that we looked at, Lonzo is probably the one that I would be like, you know what, I could see how this could work.
Yeah, if he ain't broken.
If he's not broken.
Yeah.
But if I'm taking a chance on a broken player who makes a lot of money, I'm still sitting here like, hi, Brandon Ingram. Just a little bit.
Sure.
Just a little.
Sure. Lonzo Ball's not I mean, you don't know if he's going to play ever to his level, but he had a level, and he could pass, he could defend, and he could shoot the hell out of the three, which was amazing considering how he started in his shooting form. But you know who he has to thank for that? Mr. Fred Vinson.
And Fred's been working with everybody. Yeah. Another thing I love, it's not just the process, it's not just the organization, it's not just the easy-to-understand instructions that the players have said JB Bickerstaff has brought. And it seems like they have double the amount of coaches in there now and development staff. But it's also this one thing that he said, too. We also give them time to work this stuff out themselves. And that's pretty awesome, putting some responsibility on them and allowing the work that they're doing with these guys to also mesh more organically with who they actually are as players. So I like it. And it does. It gives me a little bit more optimism. And Jay Hart, he got a last message for you, KG. He said, don't sleep on the SARS handles. He got some skills, but you're right. He's going to have to get them up to NBA level. He's not a usage rate point guard. Yeah. But he can be a facilitator. He got to get it tighter, though.
Yeah.
So does Cade and J.I.
Yeah, that's facts.
So, ALDS 411, you got the right mindset. Victory Monday, let's go. That's what we're looking forward to. Double Victory Monday
Ahmed,
would be, oh my God.
It would make up for the day we're having today and then some. Make it happen, Detroit. Make it happen.
Hey, and that's the show, chat family. Thank you guys for rocking out with us today on a Friday. Lot to discuss, man. All of our squads are in motion and in action right now, and it is hopefully much better to see on this Monday. We had to digest a lot today, and I'm hoping you guys have a great day. Shout out to that dude, Justin. Shout out to Matthew Bodo. The WUW Crew is a family, and we got intern Chase soon to be dropping that label. We're gonna have to figure out some type of a nickname.
Yeah, I mean, I see a couple in the chat every once in a while, so, yeah, something sticks.
Hey, maybe we'll leave this up to the chat, family.
Yeah.
We'll do something. Definitely. Shout out to this wonderful, elite, magnificent, great, better than the rest. I'm talking about people say they do it good, then you're actually not paying attention because they
raise
do it.
The level.
I'm telling you, bro, they do it better than everybody else. You're talking about, what do I think about these guys? As sure as I do about Terry Scuba on the mound for Game 5 against the Guardians.
All right.
That's how elite this booth is.
All right.
Give them their awards right now. We don't got to wait for the ceremony.
All right, too much.
In the sound booth. We got Detroit #1 draft pick, KG, aka Black Hollywood.
Hey, first and foremost, go motherfucking Tigers, man. Scooble, shut the door, get us to that next round, man. But it's been a great week, man. I'm a little tired, man. All these Victory Mondays Victory shows had me gassed, man. But shout out to the chat, everybody.
A little break, huh?
Y'all, yeah, man, in the worst way. But shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate the love and support. Let's keep this shit rolling. Have a great weekend.
Shout out to the Tigers for looking out for us. They understood the energy.
Yeah.
They say, hey, save it all for Monday.
Yeah.
I get that. Shout out to JB Smooth, Women's Sports MVP, in the booth. What up, though, bro? We're going to see a return of the gritty titties.
It's a Friday. Hopefully, we do see a return on the gritty titties.
Saggy tits right now.
Hey, as of Saturday, I think we're doing a watch party. I'm not 100% sure just yet. So hopefully, we get everything coordinated for this watch party. It's going to be big. Hopefully, we can get all of us back here in the studio again to watch these Tigers get the victory. You know, we got the Lions on Sunday as well, too. I'll be at Ford Field for the watch party, so hit me up if you see me out there in the stands. But hey, it's finally the weekend's here, baby, so enjoy it.
Hey, let's rock. And you know, it's a Saturday night for that game, so I'm in the building. I can't wait. I can't wait. The vet of the squad, the vet of the network that is Flannel Sam. The more things change, the more flannel Sam stays the same. Except now you wear polos on Victory Day.
Except polos Victory Days. So this face is not going anywhere. But no, I appreciate you guys for tapping in today, everybody in the chat, because I know victory shows are a lot more fun than shows after multiple defeats. I'm sure some of you, the last thing you want to talk about was sports, but you know what? You showed up anyway. We showed up for you guys, and we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys.
Big facts.
Hey, that's well said. It's your boy Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. I got the opportunity to go last night to the Pistons Celebrity Wheelchair event. It was pretty dope. Met some pretty cool people. We'll discuss that at a later time. Most importantly, chat family, you guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Go Tigers, go Lions, go Red Wings, go Pistons. We're Detroit sports fans. We live, we die with the ups and the downs. Let's ride, man. Have a blessed day, you guys. It's been Wake Up Woodward.
Call of the game is to go to Bo Brisky, one of your best relievers in this run. And he lets up a 2-run homer. You can't be mad about it. You really cannot. But he threw a bad pitch. He was ahead of him beforehand. This is bad. But luckily for the Tiger faithful, we got Scooble on the mound in Cleveland. I'll see you boys back at Comerica on Thursday for Game 3 of the ALCS. We're not going anywhere. Let's go.